Good morning. It's Friday, April 17th. I'm Miriam Busilevets. Leaders in Wequity have joined Gamity in criticizing RCMP levels of policing. Neither community has a detachment. They say fly-in patrols have been inconsistent and emergency responses delayed. Gamity Chief Doreen Arrowmaker said her calls for a permanent detachment have gone largely unanswered. RCMP told us the decision to open new detachments rests with the territorial government. The GNWT's Justice Department said a Gamity detachment isn't being considered, and opening one in the future would depend on factors like population, crime levels, and resources. A woman has been given a 12-month suspended sentence for assaulting another woman in Yellowknife. Pamela Rabiska pleaded guilty to one count of assault. She admitted to attacking another woman near the Sunridge Apartments in October of 2024. RCMP had initially reported the assault as a stabbing, but the Crown could not prove that. The cost of using some Yellowknife parking meters is about to double. From the start of May, you'll have to pay twice as much to use the 1-hour and 2-hour meters downtown. 9-hour meter costs will go up by 50%. Advocates for Canada's fur sector say they're worried about Etsy's impending fur ban. The online global marketplace plans to ban all natural fur products starting August 11th. Doug Chasson is the executive director of the Fur Institute of Canada. He says the ban could negatively impact artisans and trappers.
Especially to see Etsy say that they were doing this as part of their biodiversity policy really was, in a lot of ways, the most galling, most shameful part of all this, because the Global Biodiversity Framework very clearly spells out that sustainable use of wildlife is an important part of biodiversity conservation.
Chasson is urging Etsy to consult with artisans and wildlife experts to design a policy that allows for the sale of ethical and sustainable fur. There's more uncertainty over the future of Hay River's public library. The volunteer committee that runs the library has confirmed it will stop doing so at the end of this month. The town of Hay River says it's exploring options to keep the library running without disruption, including the possibility of launching a new committee. And Yellowknife's mayor is giving his reaction to the city's draft community plan. The plan calls for 2,000 new homes in the next 25 years and a new neighborhood north of Frame Lake. Ben Hendrickson says his priority is avoiding decisions that lead to big tax hikes.
The further you build out from existing services, it gets a lot more expensive. And this is where you see, cities down in Ontario, Alberta, BC really struggling with those sprawl issues that they've had. And it's sort of coming home to roost in how they're managing their budgets. So we're trying to avoid that for the future of Yellowknife.
Hendrickson is urging residents to get in touch with feedback as council studies the draft in the coming weeks. Get our podcast to hear more. You can find it at CabinRadio.ca. Your weather forecast for today, Yellowknife -6 and mainly sunny. Inuvik -11 with a mix of sun and cloud. Norman Wells -3 and with a mix of sun and cloud. Hay River -6 with a high chance of flurries. Fort Smith -3 with a mix of sun and cloud. And Fort Simpson +4 today with a mix of sun and cloud.